The left pane contains all the micrographs in the project organized hierarchically into reference micrographs and associated micrographs. Basically, reference micrographs are the ones that are directly associated with the samples, and all other micrographs are spatially referenced to them. In the center is the currently selected micrograph, and you can view the micrograph on its own or with, if you go up here, you can view the micrograph with associated micrographs overlaid. On the right is spot information for the currently selected spot. So as you can see up here, the currently selected spot is the reference micrograph itself. And so you can see things like sample metadata, or if I've put any information about mineralogy, or grain info or fabric, and so on. Along this toolbar are tools to add point, line, and polygon spots to whatever micrograph you have open in the viewer window. And finally, at the bottom is a pane for you to add any notes for the currently selected spot. So as you can see here, I've uploaded into this project a bunch of different thin sections, and some of those thin sections have EBSD data. And they're basically two types. There's chert myelinite thin sections that have EBSD associated with them. And then there's also a bunch of granitic thin sections that display a variety of microstructures. So clearly I would like to group these in a way that's more useful. And the way that we do that is something called group. So up here, there's samples. You can just look, and this will preserve the order in which you uploaded different samples. The other way to view your samples is that you can actually group them. So I've grouped all the chert myelinites here into this group, and I've grouped the granites by some interpretations that I had made about their microstructure. So ones that had both quartz and feldspar recrystallized, and versus ones that seem to display kind of a purely magmatic microstructure. So groups are a way for you to customize how you organize all of your micrograph images in a way that's easy for you to manage them. So a really useful feature of StraboMicro is the ability to attach any kind of associated file to a spot. So as you can see here, there's a associated EBSD map. If I go into that EBSD map, I can look at it, but I've also associated a quartz CPO pole figure to it. And if I click that, then here it is. It opens it in preview, or if you're in a Windows, whatever the Windows viewer is. And all associated files kind of are viewable on the reference micrograph as well. So if I go to the reference micrograph, you see that the quartz CPO still stays here, so I can see all of the data files that are associated with a given reference micrograph. The final feature I want to highlight is that if you are signed into Strabo and you're working on a Strabo project, then any sample that you add will come along with its GPS information, and you can click this link to view the sample at strabospot.org. So if I click that link, it loads strabospot.org, and it highlights exactly where the sample that I'm currently looking at is. And I'll put on satellite view. And I can just quickly zoom in to my sample. And I can look at field notes. I can look at orientations and any other data that I had there.